But the real issue here, and look, don't get me wrong, I'm deeply sympathetic to the concerns faced by the cab drivers, especially when a disruptive technology has come along and set their industry upside down. I mean, I went through this when I was responsible for a chain of Rogers video stores when I was in that company. And guess what? There were, I think, 250 of them when I was in charge of the company. Guess how many there are today? Zero. Because, frankly, that business didn't adjust itself or couldn't adjust itself to the reality of the fact that people were watching video content differently. But what we have to do here is to sort of reset the regulations so that we regulate Uber so people are safe and so that it's equitable vis-a-vis taxis, and re-regulate taxis by reducing the regulatory burden, including perhaps changing the fare structure. The number one reason people say they use Uber in the research done by the city staff, not by me, was because it's cheaper.
And those are all taxi drivers that are clapping for Councillor Mammoliti. When you hear that as the mayor of the city of Toronto, what do you feel about it?
I feel, just even listening to it, I feel very sad because I understand George Mammoliti standing up, for example, Giorgio Mammoliti, for taxi drivers. I understand that. And I, they don't think so, but I am deeply concerned about their well-being as well. But when you declare the death of an industry, when in fact, even today with Uber in the marketplace, unregulated, I'm the one that's pushing to have them regulated. But even with them in the marketplace unregulated, the cab companies and cab drivers are still receiving millions of calls, millions. So the industry's got a problem created by a disruptive technology which was not invented by John Tory or by any member of city council or any mayor. It was invented by whoever invented it. And this has happened to industry after industry. And I'm just being real about this and being straightforward and saying that technology is not going to be banned by edict of some mayor or city council. So what we have to do is find a way for these kinds of things to coexist in a way that keeps the cab industry alive and fairly treated, and really puts the interests of the traveling public first. They want the convenience. They want the choice in front of them. They want safety. And so the very thing he was asking that man about is what this regulatory review is going to do. It's going to impose insurance requirements on Uber drivers. It's going to impose background checks and safety checks equivalent to that faced by cab drivers.
But I hear you say that, and it doesn't seem the cab drivers are picking up on that message.
Because, Ryan, what they come and they say, and I've been in meetings where they've said this to me, and I say, okay, what kind of changes do you want to the regulations to make it fairer for you to compete and to make sure you can earn a proper living? And the answer I get back, and I'm not trying to oversimplify this, is ban Uber. And I say, how would you propose I do that? Every city that's talked a brave game about banning Uber, the difference with me is I don't do the show business. I go straight to what's real. And cities that have said they were going to ban Uber, including like New York and London, have moved away from that, and they're doing what we're doing, which is to find a set of rules that is equitable, not equal, but equitable to treat the two elements, Uber and taxis, and to lighten the load on taxis so they have a better chance to compete and make a living, the drivers do, and move forward, as opposed to the show business of saying, ban Uber. I can't operate on the basis of them saying to me, the only thing you can do that is going to, have us believe you are trying to help us is ban Uber, when I think anybody who says they can ban Uber is fooling them, and I think they're fooling themselves. The cab drivers are to think we can ban Uber.